You ready? Are you guys ready? Good afternoon, and welcome to the December 19th, 2024 meeting of the Village of Pinehurst Historic Preservation Commission. It is now 3 minutes past 4. I'll tell you about the purpose of this commission is to decide applications for certificates of appropriateness for new construction or major work within the Pinehurst Historic District, and to do so by conducting hearings and making findings of fact when such applications come before us. By law, the Commission is directed to take no action except to prevent construction or alterations that would be incongruous with the special character of the Historic District. My name is Richard Vincent. I'm the chair of the Commission, and I'll ask each commissioner, starting from my far left, to state his or her name for the record.
Justin Bramlage.
Angelique Fabiani.
Kara Mathis.
David Herring.
Thank you. Joe Iverson, fellow colleague of ours, is not present tonight, but we still have a quorum, so we can proceed. Also present from staff that will both have speaking roles tonight are Maria Klein and Michael Mandeville. First order of business is to review and approve the minutes of our last meeting. All commissioners have been provided with copies of the draft minutes. Does any commissioner have any changes to suggest or any comments on the minutes? Seeing none, is there someone who would like to make a motion to approve?
I move to approve the minutes of the November 21st, 2024 regular meeting.
Thank you, Justin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from David Herring. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No nays? Okay, thank you. May I now have a motion to enter into the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion made by Kara Mathis, second by
Second.
David Herring. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Okay. We are now in the public hearing, and this is a quasi-judicial hearing. That means that anyone desiring to testify must be sworn in, and the commission is required to consider only facts presented in this hearing. The proceedings are also voice recorded, so would you, applicants, whoever will be speaking, if you could please speak clearly into the microphone, not only so we can pick you up on camera, but we can pick you up on audio as well. I'm going to ask the commissioners if they have visited any of the sites, the 2 sites on our docket today, and also whether they've had any ex parte communication with respect to the cases we'll be considering. I'll start with you, Justin, on the left.
Visited both sites, no ex parte communication.
Visited both sites, no ex parte communications.
I too went to both sites, no ex parte communication.
Visited both sites, no ex parte communication.
Visited both, no communication.
Thank you. I will preface this by saying this is my intro to walk you through the proceedings for this evening, and it's lengthy, so bear with me here. This evening, in each case that the commission will hear, staff will first present a summary of the application, staff's evaluation of the extent to which the application complies with the commission standards for such an application, or whether it raises issues that require further information. Staff's comments on the application, as well as, where appropriate, staff's recommendations for commission action. The application and its supporting documents, as well as the staff's detailed report, will then be entered into the record. Commissioners will then have an opportunity to question staff about this report and testimony. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representatives will have an opportunity to come forward and provide any additional information or supporting documentation to the application and address any questions or issues identified in staff's testimony. Commissioners will then have an opportunity to question the applicant or applicant witnesses. After applicant's presentation, if there's any member of the public that wishes to present any evidence, either in support or in opposition to the application, that will be your opportunity to come forward and have you identify yourself. I will then swear you in and give you an opportunity to present any reasons why you believe that the application is either should either be granted or denied. Please remember, this commission is only interested in the facts that will help us decide whether the proposed work would be congruous with the special character of the Pinehurst Historic District. As chair, I have the right to exclude testimony that is not relevant to that subject, but I'm also not required to do so. Finally, commissioners will then have an opportunity to question you about your testimony. If the applicant or staff wishes to respond, I'll also permit them to do so. That was it. I will now go ahead and swear staff in. Thank you, Maria. We'll do both at one time. How about that? So I'll have you have you first say your first name, last name, both, and then raise your right hand. I'll swear you in.
Michael Mandeville.
Maria Klein.
Okay. Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to all the cases on our docket today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Who's going to go first? Okay. Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you when you're ready.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. So our first public hearing is, the purpose of this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for the installation of an in-ground pool at 190 Seville Road. The property is identified as Moore County PID number 202-00544. The property owners are Jeffrey Carroll and Elizabeth Lukes, and the applicant is Jeffrey Tucker, who is here today. So also with this pool, there will be an surrounding stone pavers and a 4-foot black wrought iron fence in the rear yard. The only major work will be the installation of the pool. And here is a aerial of the property with the hatched line for where the 190 Seville Row is. And here are a couple site plans that you can see where the pool will be located in the northern end of the property. And here is a representation of what the pool will look like. It's a 22-foot by 11-foot wide pool. And here are some examples of the stone pavers that will be put down, or the stone patio, excuse me, as well as the 4-foot wrought iron fence. And here is in the location is where it will be in the location of the yard. And the applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The fence does meet the standards and could be approved by staff. The commission will need to determine if the installation of an in-ground swimming pool as well as the fence meet the historic district standards and if it is congruous with the historic district. At this time, staff would like to submit the following into the record: the staff report with the attachments and exhibits, the presentation and the application, and the applicant's materials and exhibits. And I will take any questions if you have any for me.
Thanks, Michael. Without objection, the materials referred to by staff are admitted into the record. Thank you for that. Fellow commissioners, any questions for staff?
None.
You mentioned one, simple one. So really the only thing that rises to our level for the major COA is pool.
Correct.
So the previous slide, I know you had said it's really just pool, but it's just because the fence is improvements happening at the same time in the pool. That's why it's in front of us.
So instead of having them submit a minor
And come back
and,
just at staff
and
level.
have us, so we just put it all together.
Okay,
have
but for our purposes, we're really
Just the
just
pool.
looking at the pool. Got it. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So no questions from commissioners. I think the applicant's here. We'll now hear from the applicant. It looks like you're willing to come forward and say a few things about this pool.
All right, you got me.
Okay, I'm going to have you, sorry to make you stand again. I'm going to have you state your first name, spell your last name, and then I'll have you raise your right hand and swear you in.
It's Jeffrey Tucker, Tucker.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tucker, Let's see. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Okay, please be seated. So you've had a chance to hear staff's presentation of the application. Is there anything you'd like to add to it?
I don't really have any additional comments, unless you have any questions for me.
Okay. Fellow commissioners?
No questions?
Really trying to drag this out to make it last longer here. It didn't look like any trees were coming down.
Correct, there's no
Okay.
trees being removed.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Let's see, no questions for the applicant. If there's any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to this application, now would be your opportunity to come forward. Seeing none. It looks like we can go ahead and close the record in this case. So record is officially closed. Commissioners will have now the opportunity to deliberate, if that's even needed. Is there any deliberation?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness and find the proposed major work at 190 Savile Row is consistent with the Historic District standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the material submitted, and the findings of fact.
Second.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Kara Mathis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Congratulations, you have your COA. Okay, briskly moving on to our second case. Maria, take it away when you're ready.
All right. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for additions at 5 McIntyre Road. The property is identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 000-20793. The property owner is Tater Barn Tavern and Cigar Bar LLC, and the applicant is Enrique Artiga of Artiga Design. So the applicant is proposing to add a covered entryway to the front of the building. It would have a metal roof that matches the existing wood columns, and they are also proposing to add or enlarge 2 windows and replace another one at the top of the building. They are proposing to add an addition to the rear of the building, which would also include a side door. The west side would have a new awning. They would add French doors and a window, and the awning on the east side would be changed to match the west, and the existing door would be replaced with a Dutch door. All roofing, siding materials would match what is existing on the building now, and the doors and windows would be Black Pella Reserve Series. And this is major work because it is new construction or additions that are not considered to be minor work, and eliminating and or adding windows and or doors. So the meeting was noticed in accordance with the PDO and North Carolina general statutes, and you can see the hashed out area is our subject property, and the properties outlined in red were the notified properties. Here we have a site plan, so you can kind of see in the orange the areas that the additions will be in the rear of the building and on the front. And again, they will be adding an awning on the side of the building. Some elevations. You can see the addition of the covered porch in the front, the 2 new windows, along with the window at the top here. On the rear, it's hard to see on the elevations, but there will be an addition here. You can see the roof line there. On the right elevation, this would be the east side. They will be replacing that little awning and adding the Dutch door, and then adding the side door on the storage addition. And then on the west side of the building, the addition of the awning, the French doors, and the window. And here you can just see some side-by-side of the existing building along with renderings of what they would be adding. And here's the two sides and the rear as it exists now, and the renderings of what it should look like when it's finished. Materials that they're using, these are the style of the French doors, the side door. This would be black, but it would be what the Dutch door is made out of, and then the windows that they are planning to use. So the applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The commission needs to determine today if the additions are congruous with the historic district and meet the historic district standards. And I would like to admit into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, the application, and the applicant's materials and exhibits.
Thank you. Without objection, the materials referred to by staff are admitted into the record. Fellow commissioners, any questions for staff?
None.
Seeing none? Okay, let's hear from the applicant. Mr. Artiga, why don't you, let me welcome you up. It's a familiar face over the last couple of years, I remember.
I get around.
I'm going to have you introduce us before you say first name, spell your last name, and then I'll swear you in.
Enrique Artiga, owner of Artiga Building Designs. A lot of you know me or know my work.
I'm going to swear you in first.
Yes.
Raise your right hand, please. Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Please have a seat. Didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Nope, you're fine. It's 4 o'clock on a gloomy day. So, as I was saying, a lot of you guys know me from some of my work around town. I'm here to represent the owners of the current Taylor Barn building. The goal is to expand their capabilities. If any of you have been to this building, you know it's dark, obscure, and small. The barn itself serves as a horse stable for the gun club, which makes it historic by nature. It was never meant to become a restaurant or a cigar bar or any of the sort, so over the years people have just made it work. I believe that the building itself, with the additions that we're trying to do to it, are congruent with the new UDO, Urban Development Ordinance, because it's going to influence people to come outside, sit outside, be outside, walk to it. It's obviously within walking distance of the very downtown of Pinehurst, and that is the objective, to increase flow for potential customers, clients, not clients, sorry, patrons to come over and drink and hang out in there. The addition of the storage in the back is solely so they can actually have things in there. The building is very small. They simply do not have room to do all the dry goods and the storage that they need to operate the business. And that is just because of the nature of how small it is. I will point out that there is already outdoor seating in the building. It's just that they are using umbrellas. They would like to have a more of a permanent structure for their patrons to come over and hang out and be outside. Unless you have any questions for me, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Fellow commissioners, any questions for the applicant?
Couple short ones.
Yes, sir.
You indicated you're using the Pella Reserve series.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to have any muntins? Your drawings don't show any.
No, sir. Well, we are not going to have any muttons or grills. We don't intend to use those. The current building doesn't have any. Again, the whole goal is to bring in more natural light. Muttons could be, could kind of deter some of that look.
Okay, since there will be no muntins, are you going to use the traditional or contemporary version of the Pella Reserve series?
Yes, sir. We want to make sure that
One.
it's
Either answer is right, just for the record.
yes, sir. Let's see here. Pillar to serve traditional. The casement window, is that what you're asking me? I'm sorry.
For the new windows, comes in two varieties, a contemporary with a square mullion, and a traditional that's a bit more like a wooden window would have been.
We will be using the traditional window.
Okay.
So in my opinion, looks a little bit more historic. We don't want to give it a modern look. We want it to look like a barn.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none? Okay. Okay, seeing no additional questions, we'll see if there's anyone from the public. If there's anyone present who would like to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to this application, here's your opportunity now. Seeing none, we will go ahead and looks like we can officially go ahead and close the record of this case, so we'll do so. Record is officially closed, and I'll allow us to deliberate if there's any deliberation needed.
None for me.
If none, is there someone prepared to make a motion?
Make a motion.
Okay, go ahead, Angelique.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness, COA 2024-00158, and find the proposed major work at 5 McIntyre Road is consistent with the Historic District standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the material submitted, and the findings of fact.
Thank you. Motion made by Angelique Fabiani. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Justin Bramlage. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Congratulations, you have your COA.
Thank you very much.
It's going to feel very different in there.
I think it's going to be really good.
Okay. Thank you, Maria. You guys are batting 2 for 2 tonight. Okay, let me get caught up here. Okay, so that concludes the public hearing. May I have a motion from a commissioner to officially close the public hearing and move into our regular meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Kara. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Okay, motion passes. We are now in the regular meeting. This is a public meeting, and you're all welcome to stay and observe, but only members of the commission and its staff may speak at this time. Minor work items. We all had a chance to look at that with any questions, comments on the minor work items? Okay, seeing none. Any other business that we need to discuss? I see our next meeting date's in 25, not 24.
That is correct, unless we can go back in time.
So 1/23 of 25 is our next meeting. Any other business?
I was going to say, you really don't want to break records. You're like, are you sure?
I'm in no man's
business?
land. I got 30 minutes before my next engagement. Okay. Well, sounds good. Can we have a motion to adjourn? Someone prepare to make that motion?
So moved. I move to adjourn the regular meeting at 4:27.
Thank you, Justin. Second?
Second.
Second by David Herring. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.